every Rise Against album ranked. The definitive ranking of the Rise Against albums, according to me, because I am the Rise Against guy. To save time, let's just get over the fact that Wolves is the worst one. It's their worst. They're getting old. One of the songs was called Bullshit. I don't know. Okay. Second worst album, The Black Market. They were getting pretty poppy, and even though I did enjoy some of those songs, like I got the cover of I Don't Want to Be Here Anymore and The Time and Tragedy, those were pretty good, but not their best. Okay, so now coming up to good stuff. They did some new genres. Like they did that Broken Mirror song with blues rock guitars and stuff. Man, like Satellite, This Is Letting Go's Bridge, Survivor Guilt was good. Midnight Hands had a little metal. Thanks to that new guitarist, he loves metal. Yeah, Disparity by Design and Make It Stop, those were killer, so good album, but still their third worst, according to me, the master of all Rise Against things. And also, like, why do I have CDs? CDs are the worst, but at least this one's blue. The Unraveling. Okay, so this is their first album. It's got some Chicago punk. You can hear their roots. Like 401 Kill is great. Oh, Ever Changing. Beautiful. Ever Changing. This album is underrated, probably. I think some people put this at the bottom of their list, but no. Tim McElrath, the lead singer, was in a band with Pete Wentz around this time, or before this came out. And Pete Wentz is from Fall Out Boy. He's that emo bassist. And they used to scream, they used to do like metal music. It's called Arma Angelus. And like, so Pete Wentz was screaming and Tim McElrath was playing the bass, so it was backwards. And then like Patrick Stump played the drums, and then also their guitarist was there too. But like, man, that's just such a weird fact that like Rise Against and Fall Out Boy had the same beginnings, and then Rise Against kept some metal. Like, there's definitely some metal influence on this, and it's like a true punk album, I'd say. But like Fall Out Boy just went straight to pop punk after that. They went from metal to pop punk, which was crazy. Trying to get all that money. Number 4, Revolutions Per Minute, their second album, and I've got it on both thingies. And this is the special, like, 10-year anniversary edition. So it's white. And this album is just, this album is like punk greatness, basically. Like the Angel, Black Masks and Gasoline, Heaven Knows. This is the album where like Tim's lyrics were really starting to get really good. Like if you listen to Torches and Voices Off Camera, he's getting like really poetic. And heck, like Todd Monhe is a pretty killer guitarist. He had some great solos, like that Any Way You Want It cover. Yeah, I really dig this album. Number 3, Appeal to Reason. So Appeal to Reason is one that I used to listen on the bus all the time as a teenager. Savior was my jam. Re-Education Through Labor, Collapse. So they got that new bald guitarist, Zach, when they did Appeal to Reason. And he's good. He did a great job, but I feel like it was all Tim's riffs that were the best songs, like Re-Education Through Labor. Audience of One was really strong. Hairline Fracture had a great riff. Maybe Zach did some of that. This cover is just, it's very 2000s. Siren Songs. This album just has way too many like legendary songs in it. State of the Union was their hardest track ever they ever did. Life Less Frightening. Oh, Paper Wings. Give It All. Now that's an anthem. Tip the Scales. Oh yeah, I did a great guitar cover of that. I don't know, this and Swing Life Away is one of my favorite songs of all time. Siren Song. Alright, now guess what my favorite album is by Rise Against? Guess. You're never gonna guess. Especially not after I just went through everything. It's this, okay? You know it's this. Everybody's favorite is this. How could it not be? Okay, look, I can admit that this album is not, it's not the perfect album. Because like, okay, Bricks was kind of weak, it was really short. Worth Dying For, it's like fun, but yeah, similar. Roadside, a little too slow, didn't hit as hard as maybe they thought. Like Approaching Curve was kind of weird, a little long. Under the Knife, I kind of like Under the Knife. I'll give Under the Knife. When this album was good, this album was like one of the best things ever. So Prayer of the Refugee, Drones, Ready to Fall, Injection, Good Left Undone, Survive, But Tonight We Dance. Even the bonus track is so good. And like I really like the artwork too. Looks like some coffee emo 2000s stuff, but it's like done really well. Really, I think Chris Chassis, who was their guitarist for these two albums, and he was kind of like a shy guy. I checked out his other bands, but he left the band because they were getting too big, and you know, he didn't want to tour anymore, and like he's kind of an introvert, but like his influence is part of what made Rise Against so great. Like the opening in Prayer of the Refugee where it goes blah, 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 blah. He used that on this album too. Tip the Scale. That was Chris Chassis. Tip the Scale. Sure. And maybe just Chris Chassis combined with Tim McElrath was perfect, but there was just such a magic. Look at these weirdos on the back. But yeah, there's the definitive ranking for Rise Against. I feel like, you know, Rise Against has been the same band. Just Tim McElrath, Joe Principe, Brandon Barnes. So they're like OGs, and then the guitarist always changes. The new guy, Zach, he's pretty good, but I think even Todd Money from Revolutions Per Minute was like, I don't know, arguably maybe better than Zach actually. And also another big thing is Tim McElrath stopped screaming as hard. Like after this album, he didn't even scream live as much, and you know, just like really affected the music a lot because he always had such a unique voice and singing style, but like his screams were it was almost like folk music when he screamed and used his voice so powerfully. And that just made like the chorus of Prayer of the Refugee hit so hard, and like the Good Left Undone feels so dramatic. And so he doesn't really do that as much. I've seen them live. What they got recorded on Suffer and The Witness was something really special. There's the top albums by Rise Against, definitively ranked. So nobody argue with that, because I am the Rise Against man. The Rise Against man. They made that Ghost Note Symphonies thing where it's all acoustic. And I think that's because they saw my covers. You know, they're like, this guy makes some pretty good covers. I'm gonna do an acoustic cover too. No, I'm just kidding. There you go. Peace.